find yourself defeated. You get a big reaction, so popular.
Shagademus and Pliers.
Mr. Lover Man.
Oh.
Mr. Lover Man.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the AWSFpod podcast. This is going to be the most depressing thing you've ever watched.
Since your sex tape got leaked.
So, yeah, so just at the weekend, another defeat.
I thought you were going to go on the sex tape. So the weekend it got leaked.
It's been longer since the weekend.
Wasn't it the weekend?
That was a long time ago. So you'll probably notice that the Brighton flags, scarves disappeared.
Yep.
We're embarrassed to put it up.
It was bringing up bad karma, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I thought it was bad luck, and I'm just going to do this whole thing. So I don't even know where to start.
I like that you came dressed as Pee Wee Herman tonight.
I don't know what it is. What's that?
Pee Wee
Pee Wee
Herman.
Herman, someone that doesn't dress anything like this.
He does, like, he wears
braces,
like glasses and a hat, and like
he wears glasses and a hat,
and a buttoned-up shirt.
Funny, I've just been on Twitter there for a second to check my night score, and the first thing that came on was Rob A taking a free kick with that top on, Champions League night.
Look at that.
It was that top, unbelievable. That,
See, I've always got a reason for choosing.
That isn't the reason you wore that.
I think you'll find this is back to the time when Andy Griffin scored against Juventus.
That's correct, yes.
What? So what's
We were
that
the first team
tonight?
in history, because it was like 50 years ago today.
Was it?
Well, not
50 years ago. That shows how 50 years ago.
Wasn't 50 years ago, but
It feels like that though, right?
what was it, like 2003,
But
something like that? I don't know.
The
I
only
think
team
we
that
should
come
start
on.
like guessing
Yeah.
years, because you see the comment about when you decided Brighton and Hove like got bonded together. You said in the 80s sometime. It was like early 1900s.
Was it? No, it was later than that, man,
Someone
wasn't
got
it?
on some Brighton fan comment and said you more fucking Muppets or something.
I'm sure Hove Albion was still around in the 80s.
I'm sure it was like early 1900s, like 1903 or something.
can't find it now. I was trying to find the year there, but
Who cares? I'm not a Brighton and Hove
No, I
Albion
think
fan.
he's talking about that shirt.
oh, fuck Brighton. I
this shit.
I didn't know what he was talking about there. I'm when the monkeys went. Something
So
invented or whatever.
we've been suffered another defeat. This time at the hands of Brighton.
It was a tough one to take, that.
Probably the most boring, shittest team I've ever seen in my life.
In history.
Because they are...
Hey, us are them.
They're absolutely diabolical, aren't they?
Well, that's why they've only won 1 in 17 away from home.
And that was against us.
Well, we are
that team.
We are that team,
Yeah,
aren't we? If you haven't scored ever in your life, come and play with
Well,
us.
even that season, that Derby was the worst team in the
Beat
Premier
twice.
League until Sunderland, may I add.
Yeah.
They beat us home and away that season, didn't
Yeah,
they?
of course it is. Like where they did like stop records being broken on with.
Hey, honestly, man.
Say a player hasn't scored in the last 10 games.
Guarantee
Newcastle next.
he'll score against us.
Jackpot. So the game itself, right? Starting 11. I think we're probably all happy with that 11, were we?
That's
Nah.
it's what
Why
we
not?
Nah.
it's what we that's
No, all right, yes.
it's what we called the week before, wasn't it? It was the exact team that was said.
So we said the team that was against
would
Man
start.
U would want against.
Bob, Dummett and Manquillo.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Which was-
the
yeah,
one
no,
swap, which is what happened.
It's just one in
I mean, you
Liverpool.
said you wouldn't have played Kennedy, did you? You'd said
No, it wasn't.
I
I
think
was,
it's because you forgot Kennedy was there.
yeah, I thought Murphy might have played because he's been a great signing. I thought he might have played, but he didn't. So, yeah, there's always that.
Stirring the pot again, isn't he already?
No.
So
what did Murphy do wrong at the weekend?
we'll get on.
I did that. That's what
I asked Rafa.
He bought the bastard.
So at the start of the game, we're dominating at the very, very start.
Well, it's not just the start of the game. We're dominated from start to finish, really.
It's just obviously a lot of people are saying the whole collision with Fernandes and Glenn Murray.
Well, that was a lot of the talk
It took the
pre-match,
took the
wasn't
sting
it?
out of
Though
the game, didn't it? Because
people were talking, yeah.
He went down.
Well, we should have been 1-0 up. Let's get this straight out here.
Straight away.
Perez,
Hello,
the best chance in history.
Ding ding.
You know what I mean? And he just passed it again, man. Just passes it to the goalkeeper.
As Mark would
And
say,
you just
powder puff shot.
You just know, don't you? You just. I had no confidence in him when he was through.
Wasn't the only time he did that in that game, was it?
What else did he do?
He did the fucking same at the start of the second half as well. When he tried to beat 7 players in the box and walking into the back of the net.
We'll get on to that because we'll tried that quite a bit.
That's yeah.
But
so obviously,
we'll come out really well. We'll come out like we're expected would come out, right? Them were as negative as I sat here the week before, whenever it was, and said them are going to be the most negative, boring team you'll ever watch.
I think we'll all expect
that goalkeeper. I wanted serious. I wish that had been. I wish I'd have been a goalkeeper.
That really pissed me off. The whole thing of the goalkeeper. Right?
Also,
why have referees not got any bollocks? He's doing it from the start.
From the kick-off.
Book him. And he'll stop doing it for the rest of the game.
We are the worst team in that league, it's proven right now. And they're wasting time against us after 6 minutes.
Yeah.
What's going on in football? What's going on in the world? If you're wasting time against us, you're utter scum, the lot of you.
It's my pet hate, that. Like,
it's shit, isn't it, man?
But it wasn't just the goalkeeper was the worst from the goal kicks, but it was the same with throw-ins, free kicks, corners, anything. Anytime they had the ball.
They had throw-ins in it. One of the big defenders would walk over and kick it not next to the player that's going to take the throw, so you have to run over and get it, and just absolutely.
Well, even when we were getting things, they were kicking the ball away and knocking it. Why wasn't the referee booking them for kicking the ball away and stuff like that?
No idea. I agree. No idea.
There was one.
But as he said about the keeper, you've got to stamp that. You go over and give him a warning early doors and say, "Listen, mate, I'm not having any more of that."
Well, he didn't even talk to him.
I just kept on looking over the halfway line.
Like everybody, exactly.
No, I don't give a shit if you stop and watch booking, man.
Yeah. Well, as we saw at the end of the first half. He didn't add any of the time on because he added 8 minutes on for stoppage time, and you cannot tell me that injury was not longer than 8 minutes on its own.
It felt longer.
Well, I got the medal back home and then came back and he was still there. So that wasn't bad going.
And there was a tree on the track.
To be fair though,
when them got the stretcher, you know, that was the best part of the game. That
Lascelles
I wasn't sure.
It was Lascelles.
It
was Dunk, Lascelles and Dunk. I can't remember who it was.
No, it was two of our players.
No, it was one of the Brighton players and Lascelles.
But have you seen?
Richie was looking over at them, going, "Come on!" like that.
The Brighton chairman or something like that sent a letter up today thanking like the club and all the supporters and the staff at the hospital and everything for it. And I was like, he even made a comment on the stretcher bearer saying that some people have been unhappy with them, but they were doing what they were meant to do because they're not allowed to run or anything like that. It wasn't the fact that they weren't running onto the pitches, it's the fact that they were shouted at 3 or 4 times to come on, and they just weren't moving.
But when they did get on though, they were almost going backwards.
That's why they made a little half attempt to run, didn't they? And then they stopped. And
then I couldn't understand, right? I know we're having a total debate here about a stretcher, right? But they carry it front and back, right? Now I understand why they can't run like that, because if he gets a bit head of steam and gets excited, he's just going to flatten it. Why don't they carry it like side by side?
I don't think it's handles on the sides like is there, but it would make more sense.
Well, wouldn't it?
Though balance-wise, if you offset them, had one on the side at the front and one at the side at the back.
Why am I having a debate?
I know that's what I said, yeah. Still, sorry, move on anyway. But by the way, he was knocked out before he even hit the ground.
He was out cold.
It was brilliant.
But to be fair, at the time,
it
didn't really.
At what point do you think he was dead?
It didn't.
The second before his head hit the ground.
It was a player's reaction.
Well, as soon as he was down, he's like, they were straight, like, get on and get on.
That's what I thought.
He had. That's yeah.
You ever tried to do that?
Swallow your tongue.
It's impossible to get that back there.
Well, it is actually impossible to swallow your tongue.
No,
it is. You can't.
Is it a fake saying?
Yeah, you can't swallow your tongue.
Fake news, like.
It basically it covers your airwave at the back of your mouth, which means it blocks your airwave, so you can't breathe.
So your tongue doesn't actually.
You can't physically swallow.
I'm not saying it's doing here somewhere.
You kind of like bend it over so it goes down your throat. It just goes to the back and covers you.
I've swallowed some fat lasses' tongues in the big market before that.
Let me stop you breathing now.
But all the talk before the match was, well, if you stop Murray, you stop them, and
apparently not.
Boy did we stop him.
Well, I mean, I have to be realistic, right? I was furious, right, at the end of that game, right? Honestly, I know I'm probably jumping ahead.
I was going to say we can't see at the end already.
I was just so pissed off, right? But in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the performance, you cannot really question many players. I honestly can't, you know.
They
tried their best.
Criticise them?
No, you cannot. There's a few that I'm about to. I will say.
Yeah, we'll
tear them apart this time, so I've had enough.
First half wise, it wasn't that bad. No, the goal they scored, one shot.
They had one shot.
Goal is deflected goal. There's fuck all you can do about that.
And it shouldn't have even been a corner.
Yes.
I mean, I could see that from the bloody opposite end of the ground.
The dead pigeon could see that.
We've just got to deal with them better, though, haven't we?
We've just too easy, isn't it? It is, man.
It's shite, man. Every time I'm going at the moment, right, we always seem to start quite well. Always start well. And then them just have a glimmer of a look. Just, you know what I mean? Just a glimmer. And they score every time. And it happened there. They never come forward once.
Yeah.
The only time, honestly, the only time we looked in trouble in that game was whenever Dubravka had it at his feet. Dubravka at his feet was awful on Saturday. Awful.
He was taking a lot of risks.
Oh my
wasn't
God!
He? I mean, he never got
terrible.
His passing
never
has been
happened.
bad.
He never
His passing
got
was
hard.
awful. And I'm not trying to knock him because I do like him, but that was the only time I actually felt any danger was him. There was one he tried to pass it like I think 5 yards to the cells and he got intercepted.
Aye,
5 yard pass got
Yeah,
intercepted.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought Jesus. But no, come on.
The one where they scored, where they got the corner from, that was when Mutu tried to play a cross goal, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
he
they
did
took
really
it.
well. He did really well.
He tried to play the cells to that side of the box.
Yeah, then he got intercepted. And
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, I said to everyone, I was like, it's another mistake that we've brought on ourselves.
Yeah,
then it's
just
another
stick your
mistake
foot
that
through
it isn't a corner. It's just, honestly, you just put it out, man. It's just.
It's just we've just got no luck at all happening. It's like
we've gotten out.
it's just everything is against me.
Now, what I will say though, personally, I thought Shelby was excellent. I thought Shelby played really well.
First half, he was absolutely amazing.
I thought Kennedy showed really good glimpses at times of being
did.
that player that
He did,
can unlock the door. Listen, he's the type of player, if you're going to give him the ball 30 times in a game, he's going to lose it a fair few times, right? And that you've just got to accept that, haven't you? You've just got to, you know, it is. But some of the stuff he done was excellent. I thought personally was.
He was.
I think it was because Brighton gave
Kept
us
going
the
inside
time
as well,
and the
didn't
space to actually allow them to
He
have the
kept
ball
cutting inside.
play on
Every
it
time
and
he got the
stuff
ball,
like
he
that.
cut inside, and he was
He
playing
does.
with nuts, wasn't he?
Do you know, another thing that really pleases as well, I was screaming for it after 20 minutes, but he swapped roles finally.
Yeah,
Finally,
they did.
Rafa
Yeah,
brought
they
him on
did,
the
yeah.
other side of the field. Because Kennedy likes to come inside, and I just feel that's
They did a few times during the games, like swapping,
it's good,
swapping
that.
backwards and
It's
forwards.
good to see, I
A
like
couple of
that.
times where they didn't mean to, like.
Oh.
And actually, when he only got
Let's
caught
get
once
lost.
because
Aye, both of them on the left-hand side of the
they
pitch.
both went the left, and Kennedy, rather than staying on the right until we were out of any danger, came in the middle of the pitch to come back across, which then
wonderful.
left a massive gap down that side.
Well, yeah, let get attacked
When
again.
we're allowed to start talking about what I didn't like so much.
Right now.
I've been really nice and I've been
Right now.
Right. Why on earth, right? Why on
See the
earth?
pitch went up a little bit there.
So, right, I'm going to lose in a minute. Right, so, when we had, I'm sorry to go over this, but when we had Mitrovic, right, and we've got rid of, no, listen.
He tried to put the Mitrovic flag up.
There's a reason why I'm going to get there in a second. Is we got rid of Mitrovic because we don't play that style of football. Right?
Yeah.
Rafa said that, we were there,
Yeah,
said
yeah.
we're just not that type of team. So why did we cross it 847 times to
In
the
the
guy
box.
that's the size of this?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Tell
think
us
it was
why,
just
please tell us why.
it wasn't just to him, because there was a lot of times where
There's
we
no
had a
response.
lot of people forward.
So anyway.
There was times where Mutu was the only one up there.
And
But
Perez
I don't think they
as
were
well.
trying. They were putting it in high to the box on purpose. They were trying to whip it across the goal and stuff like that.
Them two lads at the centre half have never had an easy afternoon. Them two lads. Big lads.
They are
Laughing.
big in
Well,
one.
laughing.
Well, when you look at
physically, they didn't physically have to move.
No, just had to stand there.
They literally, there was a magnet every single
Tiptoes.
time. And every time they crossed, I was like, why would
But
you
when we actually, because it was more so the second half when we were actually getting the ball, putting it deep into the back post. There was a few times where we had it. Oh, well, Richie missed a header in the first half, didn't he? Basically standing just outside the 6 yard box, free header, and he somehow
But then again,
managed to
there was
put that wide
times
as well.
in the game where we're trying too much, so we're just trying to keep on running into the box with the ball.
That's your
There was far too
confidence, like.
much, particularly in the second half, where we were just trying to walk the ball into the box and into the back of the net. It was as if we were trying to be Arsenal.
Can he try to chip the keeper from outside?
You know, what do you call them? Moves it?
Rabona, whatever.
Aye, that's how bad his right foot must be. Eh? He tried Rabona from 40 yards or something. But another thing I was knowing
It was just
right?
desperation was the word I was trying to get out.
Do you
wasn't
think Rafa? I don't know. I'm not saying that he does, but do you think Rafa tells them not to shoot as much? Because other than that, Kennedy had a hell of a strike in the first half. Like a hell of a strike. It went over the bar.
it was the one where it was quite close.
Oh my god!
I know what you mean.
The ball was
Towards
almost
the
a
gallery.
glamour. It was unreal. But that's we never shoot, man. We
Yeah.
never shoot.
Well-
And Yedlin, right? Yedlin. At times in that game, right, we're really, really on top, right. He never moved forward once in that game, you know.
Yeah,
Why is he
can't
not
seem to
getting
think of a
forward,
time
man?
when Yedlin was pushing forward much, like, to be honest.
Only
Are you kidding me?
No, there was a couple of
No,
times in the
serious.
first half he did, but there
Second
was.
half was set back and just
I
didn't
never
do
seen him come. I never seen him once in front of me. Like honestly, I sit there and I was like, "Where are you?"
Yedlin and Dubbett were bloody playing right wing practically, in left wing.
I can remember
I
Dubbin
can't
being
remember
up there a little bit.
I
but I can't remember Yedlin.
actually thought Dunn put some lovely balls.
Loads of the time Yedlin was in front of Richie.
Was he?
I was
Like, yeah, but
disappointed.
particularly second half.
I was disappointed in him. I was expecting, as the game went on and we were really all over them. I was expecting them to be doubling up on every side, but I never seen him once.
I think it's because it's probably the opposite side of the pitch to you then,
Well, no,
because he was constantly up over there, like.
I didn't feel like he
It's
was.
not, it's his side of the pitch.
Not a second half.
No, because we were attacking the
second half.
Yeah. Well, I never seen him on the first half. I never seen him in front of me once.
I saw Dominic quite a bit in front of me.
Dummick was trying his best.
There was still lots of times, both of them and the wingers, where it just needed a little run-in between the centre-half and the full-backs, because there was a load of space in there and in behind, just for a little ball through. But
I mean, in fairness,
people were just stand, and I think it was because of their formation, because they were playing quite tight.
More like statues, mate, most of the
They were just movement was awful. Absolutely
there was
awful.
one time Perez, he was stood back to goal, and Shelby passed him it, and he just passed it back to Shelby.
Yeah.
What the?
Constantly.
He's like a wall. He's just a wall.
He did that every time he got the ball.
Right, just a
He'd
ball.
give it straight back.
Right.
And the amount of times I was screaming at him that we had the ball and it was Lascelles was poor, like, but anyway, Lascelles for some reason had a nosebleed every time he got the ball.
He kept turning into Mike Williamson, didn't he?
He wouldn't bring it, would he? He wouldn't bring it. But Perez was just standing there with three round him.
Yeah.
And just literally just standing there going, I can't do it for you.
So, when you're a kid and you've got no, like, say all your mates aren't playing out, so you just can't play football with a wall. Perez was the wall. Like, you just hitting it off him as it come back.
It was only really probably Kennedy, Diarmi and Shelby were like just playing triangles with themselves, because there was nobody to give the ball to, bar each other.
It's just I know I've just criticised there about the crosses. I'm still annoyed with that, and I probably always will be. However, maybe Brighton, in fairness, thinking of it now, have thought, you know what it is, let them go down the wing, because anything then put in the box we'll deal with it. And we'll just squash the middle, and
that's why I would
play through, weren't they? Technically, we couldn't get
through them.
That's what
we didn't have anybody that was. And that's why I was disappointed in Muto, because against Man United, he was doing that. He was in between the defenders. He was running in behind them, running the lines.
Difference is, Man U were attacking, so their defence was Brighton are similar to us. Like when we defend,
there's still space, particularly from Shelby, because Shelby was further forward in that game than he's been in a long time.
Shot in the first half. Bloody hell!
I mean, there was times where he appeared in the box where he'd like literally gone box to box, getting forward, and was in there.
What I do want to say though is Brighton played really well with blocks. Every single shot, they were on the arses blocking.
That was the big difference. Like they were throwing everything on the line, whereas our lot, as the game went on, you could just see them getting.
So I've got some stats this week.
Interested.
Stats on the podcast never happens. So. Let's see if you can guess these. Right. Possession. How much percentage of the percentage of the possession did we have?
63 or 68%.
Right. How many shots at goal did we have?
4.
Shots at goal.
At goal.
Sorry.
20 odd.
I think we're on
23.
27.
Quite a lot.
27.
Yeah, because they're all
to their 8 shots. Right. On target.
4. I may be doing too nice there, actually.
No, I had more.
No, I'll say 4 though.
What was seen on target where
it goes on target?
Meaning the keeper's saving it, or like blocked by.
I think it's where the keeper saves it. I think.
It wasn't 6.
6, huh?
Was it 6? Was it?
Off target, obviously 12. Blocked.
Fucking 973.
9 blocked shots. 9.
There was more.
So in regards to like passing, like it's ridiculous. I know we don't really go into stats.
There must have been more clearances and blocks and stuff like that.
So like, it's a game. If you're looking at them stats, without knowing the score, you think we've battered these, like we've absolutely battered them.
How many headed clearances?
Headed clearances from Brighton. Let's have a look. 31.
That's ridiculous. But there must be loads. What about blocks? Because there must have been loads of blocks and clearances and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. So tackles. Brighton won 68% of their tackles. 8 interceptions, 8 blocks, 49 clearances.
Yes. Like.
That's ridiculous.
The thing is every
time,
because they were just chucking themselves in front of the ball. Like every time we would have a shot or try a pass, it would come off one of their players. But the difference was where it came off ours and flew in the back of the net. Theirs was flying wide, flying over, flying back out, and stuff like that.
To be fair, we won the majority of the aerial duels. That could be in the middle part.
But I
think it's as a combine.
Our centre backs and in the middle of midfield, we did. We absolutely bossed them.
But I mean, thinking of it, I know we had a lot of shots and we had all of the ball. I can't honestly really, apart from maybe twice where I thought we should have scored.
Perez absolutely should have had
there.
2 unbelievable chances.
Yeah.
Richie's header as well in the first half. How he doesn't at least hit the target with that one is beyond
It's
me.
one of those things though, like where you're getting these shots blocked, where it's similar if you look at their side, they score from it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Our side, it's going the
It's
opposite
that
direction.
bit of luck.
Once again, second balls where it's getting cleared.
Oh,
Lands to their player
every single time they were getting the second ball.
Wrong with St James's Park, where it's like magnets or something.
Well,
Every
that's why
single time.
I can't honestly say that. I can't really call many people because I honestly felt that the effort was there. They were trying, weren't they? Let's be fair. They were
The only thing,
the Leicester game, the opposite of you think the Leicester game and think of that one. That was night and day performance.
As the game went on, the later it got into the game, I questioned that because they started to just. There just seemed to be a lack of urgency and a lack of effort and stuff like that.
Sorry.
Possibly because I don't know, they might have blown themselves out or something like that.
Then you made the sub, don't you? That's why I was annoyed, and we'll get to that as well. What on earth are you only making substitution for?
We talked about that on Saturday, didn't we? After the game.
So I think we're all under the same impression that probably the players on the pitch, on paper, are better than the players which are on the bench, which is fair enough. But there's a handful of those players that were blown out of the arse. You could, like Shelby had gave up, like he was.
Yeah.
It's not just that though. We're a goal down, 10 minutes to go. Take a defender off. Like I don't care if we go 2-0 down. Like,
but we almost did.
On the pitch,
we almost did go 2-0 down because that's the thing is we were pushing so far up the pitch. Yeah, they then hit on the break, and it was only because it was such a shocking finish from their player that we
only
went.
left Fernandez standing, like just not around.
The one frustrating thing about Benitez is that he seems so stubborn with his formation and stuff like that. So like normally you expect your manager to change things massively, especially when that game was massive for us. Like,
see, I honestly don't. I can't see what difference making a substitution.
To take the defender off and put into that.
But like I said to you on Saturday, as that game went on, we literally only had two defenders because Dummett and Yedlin were right up the other end of the pitch. So you had Lascelles and Fernandez as your only two defenders.
But you just said a couple minutes ago that they were flagging, they were blowing out the arse. We'll get them off.
Well,
bring on someone that's got fresh legs that's sitting there doing it. And hasn't done that.
How Perez has made that 90.
Well, that was the one. That was the one for me. Is how you can just. There's not a person in that ground that can look at that and say Perez is played well and deserves to stay on that pitch ahead of Muto.
Rafa.
He was shit.
He
was really bad, Perez. As bad as I've ever seen him on Saturday.
Like everybody was sitting around me saying this has to be Perez that goes off. It has to be.
Yeah, I agree. I was the same. And do you know what? Like, it all just slightly as well because I asked for Yosselu to come on earlier than he did. I was like, we're crossing the ball all the time, right? And I know he's not the answer, but he was just a big lad up front, and I think, he might do all right. You brought him on, we'll never cross the ball again. It didn't feel like we did. We'll never cross the ball again.
And the one shot he had,
I mean, he should have never done it.
I don't know why.
He should have never done it.
Again, desperation, isn't it?
It is.
He saw the keeper off his line.
So, someone on Twitter, I think it was Mark Douglas or someone else as well, so that was 20 yards out. I'm sorry.
No, it was more than 20 yards out. 20 yards outside of the 18-yard box.
Exactly. I was like scratching my head going, I know they're kicking him when he's down, but he wasn't 20 yards out.
It was 20 yards from the corner flag out.
It was one of the journalists said Hoslu with his first shot and he hits the corner flag or something like that.
Oh, then another one tried to be funny as well and say that people have booed the substitution of Yosselu coming on. And he's just went and hit the corner flag? No. Nobody booed him coming on.
No.
People booed that it was Muto coming off.
Yeah.
People get the shit together, man. People tweet
things. That's saying that was the only thing is because of the way it could have been construed as, that they were booing Hoslu coming on, but it absolutely was.
It's not, man.
But just in the timing of it happening and stuff like that.
As soon as
100% it was for Perez. 100%.
Steps on the pitch, then they get applauded. So I can't see how anyone would.
No, but
because the booing was still going on as he came onto the pitch.
People would have been booing as soon as he took his sweatshirt off. He was standing on the sideline warming up for minutes. And
as soon as that ball
I know.
is when the boos came out.
No, once the ball went up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. As soon as the ball went up.
Recognised the fact that was Muto came off.
13,
when that came out.
People were happy. I was one of them.
It's the second game in a row. No, second home game in a row.
I just couldn't believe that.
I couldn't
believe it.
Honestly.
It's not the first time we've sat here and said, how is Perez?
Well, no, I said the same in the last home game.
Like, how? Like, I can't even comprehend. I can't even think why. Like, it's not like he's offering anything. It's not like he's grafting.
I've sat here and said this for 5 years.
There's times, though. There is times where he looks like a good player. But this season,
that's the frustrating thing with him.
Is he a massive confidence player, do you reckon? Or do you just think he's generally
He just half of the time he didn't look interested at all for me. He was just wandering around. He had no intention to get forward. Like you're saying, he played probably 90% of that game with his back to goal.
Yeah,
he never looked at it. But you think when you think about foreign players coming here and trying to have time to settle, he knows
he's
that.
been here a long time now.
Yeah.
He's been a long time.
He'd be kicking on. You would expect it. Under Rafa as well. I'm going to be honest here. Under a manager like him and being in the league for as long as he's been in, I would expect him to really be kicking on now, and he's getting worse, man. He's getting worse. I can't. And then he's getting 90 minutes a game.
I don't know. Is this what we should expect from him? And have those glimpses of him being very good in the past, being him just playing.
Do you think it's
very well? And that's what's gave people a false impression.
Do you think it's really worth giving Kennedy a shot at number 10?
I would.
Oh, 100%.
And putting someone like Murphy.
Well, saying that, it depends though. In that type of game, when we're playing them, where they're not getting at us at all, he doesn't need to do any midfield work, then it's absolutely worth doing it. But in a game where
so next week's going to be a no-brainer.
There's a bit of pressure on where you want, somebody to maybe drop back a bit more into midfield and give you a bit of help out there.
It's a funny one,
because doing that though, ever.
For a player,
well, he dangles his foot, doesn't he?
For a player,
I think he's had one game that I can remember where he did well.
He's shite. For a player that's a winger, right? He doesn't spend much time out wide.
He always wants to get inside.
The second he gets the ball, he crouches it inside.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be a winger, does he? He wants to play up front when you.
I honestly think he would. And again, though, it'll never happen, right? And another thing is as well is if we did play him number 10, he'd probably have a shocker, and people would go, "Oh, well, that was a waste of time." You've got to give these players. You've got to give these players more than one attempt. If you're going to play Perez 400 times a season or whatever he does, then you've got to. I was going
off the game. People slating Kennedy, like there was a handful of lads slating him. He tries too much. He tries too much, like flaying that. He's the only one that's going to create something.
There was time when
he had no other. Honestly, he had no other option. You know how he won the free kick for Shelby when it took a deflection when he scored on the edge of the box.
Right, yeah.
Kennedy somehow kept that ball in and beat 3 players. And I've watched it back 3 times. He had zero option, He
got frustrated quite a lot. There was one time in the second half where he was
our own goal almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he was on the edge of our box.
Was he close to you?
No one was moving. Not a single player. And he's just wandering with the ball. And
he had to go back, didn't he? And he went
back across the fence or something.
And it's.
But even you look at throw-ins, everyone backed to
throw-ins. Nobody was showing for the ball or like making any movement or anything like that.
For a professional football club in the Premier League, we cannot take a throw-in.
It's true. It's true.
How many times have we took a throw-in?
Well, you can guarantee every throw-in is just going to go to Diarmi because he's the only one that.
He's the only one that shows for it.
Actually,
they're going to have a Sunday league up the line. Up the line. That's all.
Every time Dummett takes a throw in, he just throws it up the line, doesn't it?
It's just awful, honestly. The amount of times we'll do a throw in and it'll just literally bounce off someone on the wall. Yeah. It's disappointing, isn't it? How man? They're better than that, man.
It was a very, very frustrating game because people have complained when we haven't had the ball and stuff like that. We had a lot of the ball. We were having shooting at every opportunity. Well, not every opportunity, but. When we could and stuff like that.
Well, that's
the longer the game went on, that was the one thing. We weren't taking that chance of just having it. And probably it was maybe they were getting disheartened because there had been so many blocks and clearances and stuff like that.
That's why they start losing the shit towards the last 10 minutes. They lost all shape, they lost all composure. The game plan, whatever game plan there was, went out the window the last 10 minutes. Because you could just see it, couldn't you?
It's a panic ball, wasn't it?
They were like, fuck, we're never going to score yet. That's the feeling they were getting. But in fairness, if you look at the team, 68% possession was 27 shots a goal. I don't think we've ever had that amount of attempts in the ball under Rafa in the Premier League.
Not a long time.
For a hell of a long time.
So they got booed off the pitch again. So the players got booed off the pitch again.
You can't if you lose near.
I don't know. I think it was a booing to the reaction, wasn't it? More to the result rather than booing them off the pitch.
If you're booing the result, you're booing the players that have been on the pitch.
Yeah, probably are.
You're not just booing a result. It's the players' fault that results happen, really, isn't it? They're not putting the ball in the back of the net.
Well, that was the thing for me, is there was just... It's that lack of quality up front because...
Which I've said for 3 years.
It's,
well, someone put something on Twitter not long ago.
It's nothing new,
since Demagogue, and there was a list of strikers, every single one of them, shit.
It's terrible.
Shit.
It's a shocker.
Shockingly shit.
It is the hardest...
Remy would have been in that list. after Bauer, wouldn't he?
But the list that he was putting on was...
There was like signed players.
I signed it, like, what, please.
Slimini
was on there.
Wasn't signed any hour. They've all been on loan.
Luke de Jong, Slimini.
De Jong was
there
signed.
was some of the horrors, like
There's some
real
shockers, absolute shockers in there.
Real shockers, like.
Joslu.
Yeah, he's probably, and as much as he's bad, he's probably better than de Jong and...
He's got new shin pads up.
Slimani and that.
I still like him.
I like him as a person. I don't really want him as me striker at my football club though.
We've got any other option though.
I know, but we're better than that, mate.
It wasn't his
but we're
fault
not.
Saturday,
Oh, as a club, we're better than that.
But we're not.
So we don't deserve
how-
better than that.
That's not what the debate is, though, is it? We absolutely deserve better, but we'll not get better because
Are we better than Joslu? As a football club,
we
should
should be better than Hoslu. However, we aren't
No, we're not, like.
What, just because Ashley's there?
because
Aye, okay.
if you've got pennies to play with and to spend, you're going to get bargain basement players. You
Yeah,
cannot
that's
expect us to sign a striker for what was it, £4.5 million, and expect him to score you 30 goals a season.
He's never going to do that. There's no striker scores 30 goals or even hardly 20 odd these days, is there?
No, you need your full team to hold a few goals in now.
Of course you do.
You want your number 10 to bang in. We've got fucking Perez, who's back to go. He's not going to score if he's arse, is he?
Totally agree. He annoys me more than Joselu.
Well, that was the thing of where we were doing well last season is we had a lot of midfielders, a lot of defenders were scoring goals.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
We just kind of buy a goal at the minute.
And we've seen this in pre-season though, didn't we? We only scored one goal in pre-season. Well, I'd never led in a game of football ever or something. Like, it's not rocket science. What do we do though? What do we continue to do?
It's got to be where
1-1. We'll play the same formation and we've never scored for 110 years and we'll keep playing the same formation every week. Surely in training ground you change something, put two in front for once in your life. I'm not saying that's the answer, but how can you continually lose football games all the time and never ever change formation?
I think
I don't get it.
Within that game, there was most of the time Muto and Perez were up alongside of each other.
No, I disagree because I've seen Perez sitting much deeper.
Perez is a whole way line over
With his back of goal, just looking, going, this is really, really bad. Like, that was as much as
it's frustrating. I think with these type of games, you've got to let the shackles off a bit, and I think in the performance, in the stats, we did that, but we just didn't have the quality to actually break it down.
That's the problem.
Or
even
or a bit of luck.
Well, that's what that was crying out for.
Absolutely
Crying out for it.
That could have easily went in.
Any of the shots that we had, where it comes off one of their knees or something like that, as I say, it flies wide, it flies over, it comes out.
Goes back on their players.
If Perez had scored
the second ball drops to one of their players.
If Perez scores that goal, it changes their game plan, so they can't sit back and defend. They can't time waste because they need to come out.
That was some chance.
It was awful.
What a chance! All the time in the world.
But how many times has he done that?
8-10
How many times has he done it?
So like when I was on...
Put your fucking foot through the ball.
When I was on BT Sports before the game, Jermaine J asked the question, will the fans turn against Rafa? And I said the fans will never turn against Rafa. And I think as a majority we won't. But I think this weekend there's been a lot of more noise in regards to Rafa.
You cannot continue to lose games of football and not have noise. Like,
yeah, of course, I agree.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that's what it is.
I agree. It just seems that that crowd is slowly growing. And I think as each game passes, it's probably going to grow a bit more. But the way I look at it, the bigger picture, and think, even if the different manager comes in, you might get a better result for a couple of games. But at the end of the day, you've still got the same players. And if the players can't perform for Rafa fucking Benitez, do you think they're going to perform for some of that fucking...
Which manager is going to come? Which manager is going to come here?
Well, there'll be managers that come. I don't think there'll ever be a conversation where we won't be able to attract a manager. We won't be able to attract a manager of any quality.
Well, that's fucking Steve Bruce.
That is who will be. I've got no doubt that'll who our next manager will be.
Can it succeed at Aston Villa when he's...
If I had a bit of bet on now who Newcastle United next manager is going to be, it would be Steve Bruce.
Wouldn't surprise us.
Yeah, it's probably the best show, isn't it? Yeah, if it would be. When I say best show, I mean
it'll be like that. David Moyes or bloody somebody like that.
Allardyce or something.
Oh, it couldn't.
And again,
Nigel Pearson. He's the one that always gets.
I criticise him a lot recently. I've criticised substitutions, criticised him not changing formation, criticised that we can't take a throw in. But I don't want rid of him.
Yeah,
that's the truth. That's on
you just want to adapt, change.
I just a little bit from time to time. You know what I mean? I just feel like, and going back to what he said very, very early on, he is very stubborn. He picks his 11 players and he will live and die by them 11 players. And he will not change it. I cannot believe for the life of me, right, that you're going into the final 10 minutes of a game 1-0 and he still didn't make that sub. You've got 2 sitting on the bench.
Do you think that was more of a turning around to Ashley and just sticking your fingers up and going, this is what you've left us with?
It's too late on. Well, I know it's only early in the season, but you can't be doing games like that now. In pre-season,
do you think Newcastle fans are suffering because of this friction between Rafa and Mike Ashley?
I think we're suffering.
Yeah. In regards to Ashley being,
we are absolutely
spending money.
We are absolutely suffering because
I think obviously Rafa turning.
It's a catch-22 situation.
A bit of a game, you know.
Both of them are. I mean, why would Rafa commit his future to the club if he doesn't have assurances and the backing that he requires?
Well, this is the thing. I think Mark Douglas mentioned.
And then the flip side of that is, why would Ashley give Rafa millions and millions of pounds worth to spend for him just to then walk away?
Because the club will get relegated if he doesn't give them that millions to spend.
But as we well know,
it's not going to happen.
He's happy to take that gamble, isn't he?
I've heard some people say that he wouldn't be bothered if it went down because of parachute payments.
But why he wouldn't be?
I disagree there. Like, I don't think he wants. I really don't think he wants it to go down. Like, I'm sorry, I don't.
He's only once that first season where we were going to go down, and he came in the. You know, made his appearance on the telly and everything like that, and then the next season.
Well, that
was the season we didn't go down.
Yeah,
that wasn't when we did.
Gutierrez one.
Right. And then that summer, he gave McLaren 80 million £80
Was that all in? It wasn't all in the summer, was it? Because January we bought loads, didn't we? We bought Townsend, Shelby.
But no, that was just in the summer though.
Remember,
so that was 80 million. Yeah, so you got Mbemba, Mitrovic.
So that's
Wijnaldum that season as well.
Yeah. And that's what for me thinks. Is he in his mind thinking that, well, even if I give all of this money to spend, is the same thing going to happen?
January's too fucking late, man.
The difference is that one manager was Steve McLaren, the other manager's Rafa Benitez.
I mentioned this a couple of days ago. I said, like, the season that we finished 5th on Pardew, he brought in Anita. That was all we did.
Yeah, well,
that was a chance to push on.
No one stuck up for Pardew then, like.
No.
No one did, like. No one stuck up for
Looking back on it now, it's fucking shit.
It was a disgrace.
So, like, now.
Well, no, it wasn't that we were sticking up for.
No one was crying in the chips.
We were all complaining about him not spending any money.
But, like, you look at it now, last season we finished 10th. And he's done the same again.
Yeah,
that's because we needed to bring our 3 players in just to challenge for 10th again.
But that was the first.
People were saying that Pardew was hard done by. Not one single fan.
People weren't like.
People weren't happy with that.
Wasn't that? It was that. That was the first time that we were unable to get players over the line. Was that after that result?
But that's not Pardew's fault.
Pardew was coming out and defending us.
Yeah, well, that for me, that is the big thing. That is the big thing.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I was still sitting there going, "It's him upstairs' his fault." It's not Pardew's fault.
Yeah, but instead of Pardew turning around and saying, "Well,
I know you can have."
I tried to sign this player, it didn't happen. He was like, "Oh well."
Did you see the list of players that Pardew was trying to sign as well at that time? Though, fucking shocking.
Well, the reason obviously why not is because he probably thought at the time, "I'm never going to get a better gig than this." And he should have more of a spine, and he should. And I'm well aware that he should be challenging Ashley. So I know he's an arsehole for not doing that. All I'm saying is at that time, no one was crying in the chips over Pardew.
But that's why, because the difference is Rafa says exactly what we think and we feel.
Yeah.
Because he's got.
Because Rafa's playing part of the game.
No, he does a bit politics, doesn't he? He does. Well, he was at Liverpool when he.
But that's why the thing is that's why we love him, because. He reacts exactly the same way that we do.
Remember there was an article, wasn't there? I don't know if it was the Times or something, but they were saying like apparently Ashley wasn't happy with the signings that Rafa had done, and they had named a lot of them where like he spent like however money on that keeper, sells absolute garbage. Murphy, I'm not asking him again, but 12 million garbage.
Well, Sells on paper was a good signing. It just didn't.
Well,
it didn't work out. You never know until
Jesus, all these players, absolute shite. I'm not going. Being funny.
Jesus was free. Lazar again was a
wages on free. He signed on free. He's not free. He's shite though. He's shite. His record as much as I love the guy, isn't great. And I've read that article and the thing in them was saying that Ashley's like, whoa, hang on, like you're saying you're all this high and mighty, but fuck me. I'm not saying I'll give you much money, but the money I have give you haven't bought many great players, are you? Like. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them have been terrible, like, to be honest. And that's me being as honest.
But then is that a flip side of the story? You go, where were these on the list? Like,
Well, that's it. Well, today,
Coughlin's banging on. Or was it no?
Craig Hope today banging on about Rondon, saying he was number one.
Plea was number one.
We all know that
we get linked with Plea,
he was
over and over.
Yes, Rafa admitted that Rondon was a player that he wanted to sign. He was his number one target based on the fact that if he had 50 pence to spend.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that one, but I'm going to be honest as well. If he was valued at 18 million, is that true? They said he was 18 million.
Around about that figure.
15, yeah.
Forget about what Ashley's going to give you, right? Let's say Ashley said open checkbook, right? Just say he said that. There ain't many other players you're going to get. I honestly don't feel they're going to come here, like.
That's the other thing is
people might be saying he's only picking Rondon because we've got any money. Fucking tell someone else.
Identify players, but are these players going to come to the club?
Yeah, they're shite.
Rondon will, because he's just been relegated to West Brom, so of course he's want to.
In the summer, I think we would have had a chance because Benitez as manager, it looked as if the club had just finished. Well, I just finished 10th. It looked like the club could have went somewhere. So in the summer, that was a chance of bringing him in. In January, not a chance.
Well, look how many players we were linked with. Things were agreed, and we just wouldn't pay the money. Mm-hmm. They were quibbling over £1-2 million.
Charlie's getting away off, getting let off lightly here?
I've been in the boat. 100%. I don't like the guy, but I just don't really know what he can do. If he goes into a meeting room and he's got £1 and they're going, well, I want 5. Oh.
Well, no, but that's not the thing where they're saying,
what can you do?
They want 5, they want 10 million. We've got 10 million to spend, but he'll go and say, I'll give you 8. But that's been proven time after time after time that's happened.
Charlie's not waking up in the morning going to go, I fancy just bidding 2 million less. Ashley's telling him, man. Ashley's telling him to go in that room and don't spend. If you spend £10 million, I'm going to light you. I'm going to set you on fire. That's what he's doing. Charlie doesn't wake up in the morning and think, I'll just do this on purpose.
Keegan in his book.
Because how many times did he? In fairness to Charlie, he was the one that had to go and sit with Rafa and take his bullshit for the next fucking half an hour because he would be kicking off. He couldn't get the player. And it's Ashley, we all know who it is. It's upstairs, isn't it?
I'll set you on fire.
But that's what he'd be saying. We're going to bid 10 million. You would go there. If you spend 10 million, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, nee, boss. So yes, you can say it's his fault because.
To be fair, Charlie's fucking punching as well. Like,
of course he's
got this job. It's ridiculous.
He'd be working in B&M's, man. He'd be an area manager for B&M's. He would be an area manager for B&M's if it wasn't for Ashley.
An area manager for B&M's.
That's what he would be. And I'm giving him a bit of credit there, in the fence area magic, he does enjoy. But he knows how good of a gig he's got, and he's also got an impossible gig. Because he's walking in with a Sports Direct mug in May money. None. The best I've got is have your coffee out with there, all the best. Do you want to sign? That's all he's got, man.
Right, I think we're going to call it an end of this one because we've gone on a bit late, right? So we'll call the end of this podcast, right? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Fucking hate football.
Subscribe to the channel. Like this video, even though it's been so depressing. Just like it. Thanks.